Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel, and something absolutely hilarious has happened today. Ben Armstrong, also known as Bitboy Crypto, visited Sam Bankman-Fried in court today. And Sam Bankman-Fried didn't exactly invite him, but Ben Armstrong showed up with a cadre of others who were victims of the FTX Ponzi scheme. So I'm not sure how many people came along with him, but in the videos it looked like there may have been upwards of a couple dozen or so, and showed up to a court hearing today. And I'm going to share with you what was unfolded. I mean, it's one of the very biggest, if not the biggest story in all of crypto right now, what's going on with the the proceedings as a result of the FTX collapse, because it's an outright fraud and Ponzi scheme. And Sam Bankman-Fried, it turns out, from what's being reported anyway, he actually is going to end up in the United States either tonight or tomorrow. Despite earlier indications, it looked like that wasn't going to happen. I'll explain why during the course of this video. But some of these developments, I thoroughly enjoyed, and I just felt like if I didn't report on this, I'd be doing a disservice to all of you, because my gosh, with how horrible it is what this guy did, impacting negatively, destroying lives the world over, Sam Bankman-Fried did. Seeing him get his and be in the position that he has been in jail in the Bahamas for roughly the last week, I'm thrilled about that. And again, clearly not happy that Bitboy Crypto showed up. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So first I want to run through this article from Cointelegraph, which properly sets the table, and it's titled, Sam Bankman-Fried Wants to See Indictment Before Extradition to United States. Former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried, who is currently facing multiple charges related to wire fraud and securities fraud, reportedly said he wanted to see the indictment against him before agreeing to be extradited to the United States. And so I'll just pause a note, and I shared this in a video just yesterday. There were indications that there was going to be a new court hearing today, December 19th, which did ultimately happen, and that Sam Bankman-Fried would decide that he is willing to be extradited to the United States after intensely fighting that, upon being arrested. But, who knows what developments are going on behind the scenes that we're just not privy to. But on top of that, I will tell you, the jail that he's in right now, this prison, it's reportedly just infested with maggots and rats. There's not plumbing in these cells. Literally, you get a bucket, and there are no mattresses. So just, a few concrete walls and some bars. That's pretty much it. A bit different than the treatment that you'd get in a prison in the United States. Not that that's a cakewalk, but you understand there's quite a disparity in terms of environment between the two. I think it's very fair to say here. And so after experiencing that for a week, suddenly he's like, yeah, I'll go to the United States. But something was being worked out, and again, I'll get to all of it, but let me just do this in order. Piece continues. Appearing in an emergency hearing of the Bahamas Magistrate Court on December 19th for the first time since his bail was denied, Bankman-Fried reportedly said he was willing to not fight the process required for extradition to the United States, but wanted to see all the charges against him. He spent the last week in the Bahamas Fox Hill prison, a facility with previously reported cases of physical abuse against prisoners and harsh conditions. Now, the team behind YouTuber Ben Armstrong, also known as Bitboy Crypto, reported on Twitter that they appeared in person at the hearing to look at SBF in the eyes. And there's a picture of Ben Armstrong with a bunch of others that showed up to court today. And then the piece continues. In the United States, Bankman-Fried faces charges from the Justice Department, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and Securities and Exchange Commission related to defrauding investors and lenders. Under his leadership, FTX and associated individuals also made millions in donations to political candidates, allegedly violating campaign finance laws. It's unclear why the former FTX CEO may not fight extradition. If found guilty, and check this out because I don't mind hearing this. We'll see what happens, though. Doesn't mean he's going to get this, but check this out. If found guilty of all charges, reports suggest he could face a 115-year sentence. Ooh, I wouldn't mind that one bit. He was returned to the Bahamas Department of Corrections custody following the hearing, where he is expected to remain until February 8th. Yeah, okay, so that was the report as of this morning, though. Looks like he's not going to be, because there's a development later in the day. Let me get to it, but well, I already let the cat out of the bag at the outset of the video. Looks like he's coming here, but let me explain what we know. So there is this tweet from Ben Armstrong, Bitboy Crypto, from this morning, 5:54 a.m. That's my time zone, though, Central Standard Time here in the United States. But Ben Armstrong shared this picture of himself holding a newspaper, the Nassau Guardian, with the headline, "SBF back in court today." And Ben Armstrong tweeted out, "Who woke up at 5:30 a.m. to see SBF in court today?" With that smiling face. I think it's Bitboy Crypto. Yes, I love how excited he is to be, and it's for good reason though. Like, Sam Bankman-Fried is an awful excuse for humans, just absolute human debris. He's just absolute scum here, and the fact that you have someone like Ben Armstrong ferociously going after him and trying to do everything again to get the bottom of all this stuff. Just take the wins where we can get them. It's worth being excited, seeing all this, and being happy about the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried ain't exactly having a good time in life anymore. You know what I'm saying? And then there was also this at 10:29 a.m. this morning. Ben Armstrong tweeted out, "Can confirm Sam stared me dead in the face and he was not happy." I gotta tell you, just seeing that, something about that made me happy inside, because you may recall a couple weeks or so ago, Ben Armstrong flew to the Bahamas for the first time. And he was actually standing by Sam Bankman-Fried's car. I think it was a Corolla, hanging out in the parking lot. He got Sam Bankman-Fried's phone number from one of his connections, just trying to get Sam Bankman-Fried to be willing to talk to him. The furthest he got was a promise to do some sort of interview, which never unfolded. And Sam Bankman-Fried did unblock Ben Armstrong on Twitter. That's about as far as that got. And so obviously Sam Bankman-Fried never wanted to actually engage with Ben Armstrong at all, but couldn't prevent Ben Armstrong from showing up to court today. And so he stared him dead in the face. He must have been like, "Oh my God, Ben Armstrong's actually here." Well, I have no pity and no sympathy for Sam Bankman-Fried. That guy destroyed lives. He deserves to go to prison for a very, very long time. If not his entire life, then at least decades and decades. The degree to which he has harmed people the world over, words don't do it justice, the amount of pain and suffering and real world harm that he has caused to all these people. And he knew what he was doing. This isn't some sort of "oops, I ran a company wrong." No. He outright did this intentionally. And then there was also this from Ben Armstrong. He wrote, "I cannot express how crazy the court hearing was this morning. SBF was shaking and begging his lawyer to get him extradited. But there was a mysterious event that happened over the weekend that prevented the extradition. Wonder what that was." And I was wondering as well. And they ended up sharing what that was, though. And it turns out that one of the people who was with Ben Armstrong here, showing up in court, is named Rebecca. And this woman named Rebecca was a FTX customer who is one of the people that was harmed by the collapse of the Ponzi scheme. Now, she filed a police report against Sam Bankman-Fried in the Bahamas. She's physically in the Bahamas, filed the police report. And Ben Armstrong and also AJ, who's part of his crew, reported that as a result of this, Sam Bankman-Fried wasn't getting extradited. So you can see here's a quote from AJ. "SBF is staying here because of Rebecca and Bitboy Crypto. I'll make a more detailed explanation after we stop celebrating." And then there was this. So you might be wondering, well, why wouldn't you want SBF to be extradited? Well, it's not that you wouldn't ultimately want it, but Ben Armstrong explained with the following. He said, "Here is what you need to understand. We do not want SBF to get extradited yet. Why? Because there is at least $300 million in property hidden in the Bahamas from the bankruptcy filings that were not included in the list of assets. If he leaves, government takes it, and you lose again." And so, look, I'm just reporting what Ben Armstrong's reporting. I have no idea how law works in the Bahamas. That's crazy. If he leaves, he just forfeits it, and then it's the government's. And then people, if that's the law, I don't know anything about that. I'm just reporting that's insane, though. If that's accurate, that's absolutely bonkers. And if that's true, then I can certainly see why Ben Armstrong's trying to prevent it. But still, in the end, it seems like maybe a delay if this was actually going to play out, but even then, it doesn't look like it actually ultimately played out for very long, as you'll see in just a second here. Ben Armstrong also tweeted out, and this is in the afternoon, 3:29 p.m., people think SBF is paying the Bahamas off. LMAO. You couldn't be further from the truth. Sam and his parents are broke. The Bahamian government has stolen their assets. You can't come to the islands and expect to out-pirate the pirates. And there's a separate tweet. Maybe I don't have it pulled up for this video. But it turns out he had publicly stated, and I was unaware of this, that, I think it was him anyway, that if you're a citizen of the Bahamas, you're not legally allowed to gamble in their casinos, and you're also not allowed to purchase cryptocurrency. That's what was reported that I read, and I believe it was from Ben Armstrong, if I'm not mistaken. And so, as a result, if there aren't any victims directly in the Bahamas, there aren't any police reports necessarily in person reported. The fact that this woman named Rebecca filed one, I was like, oh, okay. Because I thought it was weird for like weeks and weeks. Like even after maybe it was 2 or 3 weeks in. I remember Ben Armstrong's reporting. It's like literally nobody has filed a police report against Sam Bankman-Fried. I remember him reporting that, and I was like, whoa. Well, now if you're talking about on a local level, certainly I can understand why. If it's the case that they, there aren't any victims specifically in the Bahamas because they can't buy crypto anyway. If that's the case. I was just unaware of this stuff, but this is what I'd gathered from Ben Armstrong. And then you have Eleanor Terrett, who is a Fox Business journalist, and she tweeted out the following at 3:54 p.m. this afternoon. She said, breaking, SBF has agreed to be extradited to the United States and will be arriving either tonight or tomorrow. 2 sources have informed Fox News. He's expected to be released on bail per preconditions his lawyer made with the Southern District of New York prosecutors in exchange for agreeing to extradition. So it looks like he's going to be, if this is accurate, I don't have a reason not to believe it, then looks like he could be here by the time I'm recording this. He could be in the United States now, or he could be tomorrow. At the time I'm recording this, what time is it? 8:48 p.m. Central Standard Time, so I'll get this up at some point this evening. But this is the 19th, December 19th. So it's just, ultimately, yes, I think we want him here in the United States. I do as a United States citizen. And because FTX US was also part of the bankruptcy proceedings, that fell apart as well. And it's just unfortunate that he could end up out on bail. Because per the agreement in the Bahamas, no. Bail was explicitly denied out of fear that he was a flight risk. So I don't know what's going to be set up here specifically or where he might be staying in the United States. Maybe he'll be confined to some sort of specific address. I don't know. I'll report as soon as I find out. I'm happy to continue covering this because it's interesting. It's, again, like I said, obviously, and you know it, probably the biggest story in crypto in general right now. So, I don't know. I like the idea of him being stuck in that Bahamian jail with a bucket, but yeah, it is what it is, man. Either way, he's like, his life's over. I can't imagine him getting some sort of, some sort of penalty against him that's weak. Can you imagine him not getting at a minimum, decades in prison? If not the 115 years? I don't know. I'm optimistic. I'm always optimistic, though, as long as there's a reason to be. I'm optimistic justice shall be done here. And then Ben Armstrong retweeted that from Eleanor Terrett and wrote, if this is true, it's bad for FTX investors. I haven't confirmed this. Sam agreed this morning and begged to go, LOL. The Bahamian government was keeping him from going. There are reasons. But the United States is obviously powerful and could apply immense pressure to get him back home. So that's what we know to this point. That's the latest. You're all caught up to speed. We'll just keep on watching. Keep your popcorn, Andy. Never know when a headline's going to break. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, family sedan.